Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe, and welcome to episode 2 of Saturday Mornings. And this is just a little segment on my channel that I like to do where I get in front of the camera and I talk about all the cool news that happened the week before, whether it has to do with comic book movies, comic books, or action figures, or anything cool that I feel like discussing. I'll jump in front of the camera and do it right here. And this week there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about because we have Toyfair going on, and Black Panther just came out, and there was a bunch of other cool movie news. So we're gonna get right into it, starting with Black Panther. I got a chance to see it last night, and overall I was really happy with it. Just to jump into the positives real quick, I think that the movie was very well done, well directed, well written, and all that cool stuff. And I think there was a lot of good character moments, and I think that's where the movie really shined, was the character dynamics and how much depth all the characters had. And as for the story, I don't want to say it's predictable or anything, but it was something that I kind of expected. You know, if you're kind of familiar with Black Panther, it kind of seems like someone's always trying to take his throne, and he's always trying to get used to being a good king. So, you know, that's kind of what I expected from the movie, and that's what we got as far as the story goes. And I thought the villains were awesome. Eric Killmonger was dope. Everybody's going crazy about Michael B. Jordan in that role, and I think he did a good job. I also loved Andy Serkis as Claw. And I do wish that he had a chance to get into his red suit somehow. Even, I know it would look kind of corny, but I think it would have been cool if they kind of worked that in there somehow. But yeah, just how it was, he was cool. He was really disturbing how much fun he had, like, you know, doing these crazy things. And Michael B. Jordan was really disturbing how, like, how convinced he was of his cause and how, like, justified he felt. So you kind of, you know, you kind of wanted to, I don't want to say root for him, but you definitely understood where he was coming from. And I'd say my favorite part of the movie is the dynamic between T'Challa and his people, especially the people that were close to him, like his sister and his love interest. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but them two and Okoye. I love the relationship he had with the three of them, and it was really cool to see them all together doing missions and going out and being crazy and stuff like that. So there was a lot of good stuff in this movie. It really felt disconnected from the MCU, not really in a bad way, but it was definitely its own movie. It had some characters from the other movies and stuff like that, but nothing that, like, it wasn't held down by any Marvel MCU stuff. It was just kind of its own thing up until, like, the end credit scene, so make sure you stay for that. But yeah, for the most part, it was an awesome movie. The only big negative that I had with the movie, and it did really distract me, was the CGI towards the beginning of the movie. In my opinion, it didn't look very convincing. Some of the shots when they were outside, it didn't look like they were outside at all. It definitely looked like a green screen, and to me it was very distracting. It was kind of taking me out. Up until about halfway point in the movie, it was weird because at the halfway point I felt like the CGI became, like, more convincing. It was a little bit darker and it looked more realistic. In the beginning, where it was bright and we're just kind of hanging out with them, getting used to, you know, Wakanda and the characters and stuff like that, and there wasn't really any huge conflict. Everything was really bright, and outside, like, the CGI to me just wasn't very convincing, and that's really the only negative I had. But it was a distraction for me. But overall, it was an awesome movie. I'm very glad that it's out. I can't wait to see T'Challa again in Infinity War, and that's going to be awesome. Another thing I really liked in Black Panther was the underlying kind of social messages that they had in there, and I really liked the fact that sometimes when T'Challa was talking to somebody or to the world or whoever, it kind of felt like he was talking to, like, the real life world. So I thought that was really cool. It sounded like they were trying to get, like, a message across without trying to be too preachy. And another thing that I really liked about it is that Ryan Coogler, which is the director of the movie, is from the Bay Area. He's from Oakland, so I like the fact that they incorporated that into the movie. And you know, it's cool that he always shows the Bay love, so that's super dope. And I'm from the Bay Area, so I always appreciate stuff like that. And it's very cool that, you know, it's one thing to do it, like, on Fruitvale Station, which is a smaller movie, but it's another thing to do it, like, on Black Panther, which is, like, a huge movie that so many people are going to go see. It's cool that he shows love to his hometown, so that's super dope. Be the Incredibles trailer, and I'm really excited about that movie. In my opinion, Pixar's pretty much hit or miss when it comes to their sequels. I wasn't crazy about the, you know, the Cars sequel or the you know, none of the spin-offs from Cars. All of them were kind of weak, but I was really happy with Toy Story, and I thought Finding Dory was okay, but the Toy Story sequels were awesome. So, you know, they're hit or miss, so I have faith in the Incredibles too. I know that that's a, you know, a sequel that a lot of people wanted to see. I can't wait to revisit that world because that was awesome. That, like, it kind of felt like noir, kind of, or like, you know, like the 40s or something in that. It felt like the old serial comics in some of that movie. So I do look forward to revisiting that. Hopefully they kind of stay in that kind of that feel, you know. Hopefully they stay in that kind of environment during that movie. But yeah, the trailer was cool. There was a lot of funny stuff going on. It looks like there's a lot of the same kind of things we saw in the first movie, but it kind of reversed. You know, it's the dad staying home with the kids instead of the mom. She's going out doing her thing, and the dad is staying home, being the you know, stay-at-home dad, doing his thing, hanging out with the kids, and you could see he's getting all stressed out from trying to raise them and stuff. So, you know, it does look cool. It looks like there's a lot of funny jokes and stuff like that in there. So I do look forward to seeing that. And then on to a piece of news that came out that I thought was awesome. It sounds like Tim Miller and Brian Michael Bendis are going to do a movie based on X-Men issue 143, and that's a popular comic book that a lot of people like, where it's pretty much like a Kitty Pryde solo issue where she's stuck in the mansion. Some cool stuff happens. You know, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it sounds like they're going to make a movie just based on that issue, and I think that's awesome. I love the idea of just doing that, because there's a few comic book issues that I'd love to see a movie of. Specifically, if anyone remembers the first time, I think it was the first time where Professor X met the Shadow King, and he was in some village or something and went into a restaurant. He knew there was a mutant in there, and they had this crazy battle inside their minds, or in the astral plane. And I love that issue. That's one of my favorite single issues, and I would love to see that adapted somehow. So I do like the idea that they're taking one single issue and making a movie out of it. I know that a lot of people are a big fan of that 143 issue, and I would love to see like a... the issue takes place on Christmas, or in Christmas time, and I'd love to see like an X-Men Christmas kind of Home Alone, you know, with like a Gremlins feel kind of movie. I think that'd be, how awesome would that be? How awesome would a comic book Christmas movie be with X-Men and mutants and Kitty Pryde? That'd be awesome. And it's going to be written by Brian Michael Bendis, and to be honest, I've never been a huge fan of him. There is a few things of his that I like, but I was never crazy about him. He's obviously a talented writer, but you know, I do look forward to see what he could do with Kitty Pryde, or the movie, because I know that he's a big fan of her as a character. He incorporates her a lot, so I've just never been a huge fan. But Tim Miller, he's awesome from Deadpool, so I think that the combination of those two guys, I'm sure they could come up with something dope. So we'll see. And now in the world of action figures, there's all kinds of cool pictures and leaked photos and all kinds of cool stuff that came out this week from all kinds of different companies. Leading up to Toy Fair, that's kind of the way it goes. I'm kind of surprised. I would think that these companies would save things to reveal at Toy Fair, but nah, it was like a free-for-all all week. There was all kinds of cool stuff coming from Marvel Legends, some cool stuff from Mezco, some stuff from DC Collectibles. NECA had a bunch of stuff going on. But let's talk about Marvel Legends first. It sounds like they're going to do a 10th anniversary MCU wave, and the first things that they showed were the Captain America and Crossbones 2-pack, I think what it's going to be. And the Captain America looks pretty much like the Captain America that we saw from the Civil War wave, and the you know, some parts reused from the Infinity War wave Captain America. But Crossbones pretty much looks like it's a brand new sculpt, and he looks awesome. That's a character that I'm sure a lot of people wanted. We don't have too many MCU villains in Marvel Legends, so it's really cool that we're getting him. And also, I'm not sure what like assortment, or if it's going to be still part of this whole 10th anniversary thing, but a couple pictures were leaked of a Iron Man 3-pack, and that included Iron Man or War Machine. I'm not really sure what armor that is or what's going on there, and Pepper Potts and Mandarin from the movie from Iron Man 3. So that's really cool. They showed Mandarin way back in the day, and then we kind of just forgot about him, and they haven't really said anything recently. So it's cool that they found a way to put that figure out. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'll get that 3-pack though, but I don't know. We'll see. They have coming out with that whole MCU 10th anniversary thing is a new Iron Man figure. I'm not sure what number the armor is or what mark it is or whatever, but it does look pretty cool because they're doing something new that they haven't done with a Marvel Legends Iron Man figure, and that's where they have like some of the armor pieces kind of flip up, you know, like when he flies and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. We've seen things like that on like figure arts and other, I think Mafex had like a cool effect like that. So it's cool that Marvel Legends has finally done that. I'm sure that's a little bit tougher for them, being that they're, you know, they're less expensive than those import toys. So usually those guys could do some things that Legends can't, but it's cool that they factored that in there. And it came out that wasn't even from Toy Fair. Apparently someone in Canada found this Infinity War Marvel Legends 2-pack that featured Scarlet Witch and finally the Vision. So how awesome is that? I can't wait till that's available everywhere. And there's a little sticker on there that says it's like a Toys R Us exclusive sticker, so I don't know if that's going to be the case over here too. But yeah, that's super cool that we're going to finally get a Vision. It's really hard to see how good he looks in the picture here, but I mean, hopefully hopefully he's good. I mean, Vision is probably my most wanted Marvel character, or MCU character that is. So yeah, it's really cool that we're finally getting that. Too bad it comes with a 2-pack, but luckily I never bought the original Scarlet Witch from the Abomination Wave, so I'm happy to pick up this 2-pack when I eventually see it. And then Mezco revealed a couple cool 112 collective things. Earlier in the week, they showed off a new Batman figure that's kind of like a more comic book based version of Batman, but it really seems like it's Mezco's own design. I don't think it's specifically based on anything. It looks like it's one of those things where they just kind of came up with their own thing. But it does look pretty cool. I do look forward to picking that up. And then the other character that I was really excited about, even though I haven't seen these movies and I wouldn't say I'm a fan of them or anything, but John Wick. They revealed that they're going to be doing a 112 collective John Wick figure. And what makes me excited about that is the possibilities of Mezco doing other movie figures or just random movie characters. I really hope that they kind of go down that path, because I mean, I love the superhero stuff obviously, but there's so many options for superhero things, and it'd be pretty unique for Mezco to start doing just random movie characters. I made a video about it last year, talking about like movie characters I'd love to see them do. I'd love to see them do Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York. I'd love to see them do Richard Deckard, or even like Marty McFly from Back to the Future. There's like so many cool classic movie characters that they could do. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, you know, they do this John Wick figure and it comes out and people like it and they do more. And aside from like, for John Wick, it seems like you don't really even need to be a fan of the character, because I'm sure that a lot of people will want like just a 112 collective suited body. You could throw a different head on there, customize something cool. So I think those figures are going to sell really good. It's going to be crazy to think that people are going to kind of want to army build like a 112 collective figure, but I know I'm going to want a couple. I'm going to want at least 3 people in suits. I think that'd be dope. And that's pretty much it for the 112 collective stuff. I'm sure they'll have a bunch to show at Toy Fair. Hopefully they don't go crazy and show a bunch of stuff that we're not going to see for 3 years, but I do look forward to seeing what kind of stuff that they show. Hopefully it's more movie stuff. We'll see. And then for DC Collectibles, they had a bunch of cool stuff, starting off with the Doomsday Clock figures featuring some of the Watchmen, the classic Watchmen characters. But the only thing I don't like about this situation is they're doing 2-packs, and what they're doing pretty much is they have like a classic Watchmen character with one of these new Watchmen characters that I'm not really familiar with, so you're kind of being forced to buy both of them. I do wish that, you know, the classic characters came out by themselves, but it looks like, you know, that's the way they're packing them. So it kind of sucks, but I'm still going to pick them up because I've always wanted some highly articulated, well-sculpted Watchmen figures, and I'm sure that that's what we're going to get from these DC Collectibles figures. Who knows what scale they are? I kind of feel that they're going to be closer to like 6.5 inches tall. Kind of like their DC Essentials. And speaking of DC Essentials, some promo shots of those came out too, and they look cool, but there's some awkward posing in here. Superman looks goofy, but the figures look cool. They look really nice in person at Comic-Con, so hopefully what I saw in person is what we get in hand versus what we see in these promo pictures. These promo pictures aren't very flattering, but it is cool to see them. And then they also showed Brainiac and Black Manta, and we didn't see those at Comic-Con, so it was nice to see promo pictures of those. Pretty much all DC Collectibles show that I was interested in. I'm very excited about those Watchmen figures, so hopefully they come out nice. And it's cool because it looks like they have like a lot of the articulation that DC Icons had, but they also added the upper thigh cut this time around, so it's very cool to see that on these Watchmen figures and on the DC Essentials figures. And then Diamond Select released the image of their upcoming Marvel Select Beast figure, and I kind of have mixed feelings on this because I want to be excited about this figure, but I really don't think that the articulation is going to do justice to the character. You could see in the images here that he only had single jointed elbows, and you know, he has the hips that not a lot of people are fond of. I know those things don't get too much range of motion, and I just don't know. I'm not sure about this figure. I think that he looks cool. He comes with the Danger Room piece that some of the other Marvel Select X-Men figures came with. And, you know, to be honest, Marvel Select, I'm a big fan of Marvel Select. I like them a lot, and they've done good on X-Men figures. I do like their Nightcrawler figure. I love their Colossus figure. I wasn't a big fan of their Wolverine or their Cyclops figures, but so I mean, I guess they're hit or miss when it comes to the X-Men stuff. I really do hope that Beast is awesome. I don't have very much faith in that torso articulation. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a lot of diaphragm movement, but hopefully, you know, you can pop that off and modify it if necessary. It'd be awesome if it just came, you know, out of the package ready to pose and play with, but I really just don't see that happening. I really don't see them putting enough articulation that to do the character justice, but we'll see. I really hope I'm wrong about that because I think it looks cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've been wanting a new Beast figure. The Toy Biz one is cool, but I've never been super crazy about it. It doesn't have any torso articulation or anything, and I always kind of thought the face was funny looking. I know that's an unpopular opinion, and a lot of people like that figure, but I just think that somebody could make a better Beast. I was hoping Marvel Select could one of these days, but I just don't see it happening. Figure looks cool, but I don't think the articulation is be very good. But I do have a feeling that Marvel Legends will show a Beast figure. There was this picture that came out last week that showed a Marvel Legends Beast figure, and then people said it was fake. So I don't know. But I have a feeling that eventually that Hasbro will do a Marvel Legends Beast figure. So we'll see. Action figure news that I'm excited about is the 1000 Toys Iron Giant figure, and apparently it stands about 6.5 inches tall. It's going to come with a bunch of interchangeable pieces. It's going to have some die-cast parts on it. It's going to be fully articulated, and it looks really, really cool. It's definitely going to be super small, obviously. Who knows what scale that is. I mean, I'm sure you could put your Figure Arts Ant-Man next to him and it'll be, you know, in scale with each other, but other than that, it's just a cool 6-inch Iron Giant figure, and I'm down with that. It looks really cool, so I can't wait to pick that guy up. And 1000 Toys, I think that's the name of the brand. I'm not too familiar with them. I know that they made that synthetic human that was really popular last year, and it looks like they know how to do really quality figures, so I'm very excited about that Iron Giant figure. And for action figure of the week, in honor of Black Panther, I'm going with the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Okoye figure, and she's really nice. I really can't. It really sucks that she had to be a Build-A-Figure, so she's kind of hard to get. Because it'd be great to be able to army build her to at least get a few more of the guards to stand with T'Challa. But yeah, this is a really cool figure. I really love the torso articulation. They did a really good job there. And the one thing they definitely killed it with was the head sculpt. This is probably one of the best head sculpts I've seen Hasbro do. Check that out. They did a really nice job. It does have the usual problem with females from Hasbro. They don't have the double jointed elbows. But aside from that, it has all the articulation that you need. And yeah, she's a really cool figure. And like I said, she was one of my favorite characters in the movie. And if you have no interest in this Build-A-Figure, I'm sure you will after you see the movie. And I really can't wait to see her get down in Infinity War. But yeah, this figure really does her justice. Aside from a few, like, you know, articulation issues that are pretty much you know, everywhere when it comes to Marvel Legends females. But yeah, she's a really cool figure. The paint, I guess, could have been a little bit better, but I love all the details on her. They have sculpted details all over the legs, all over the arms, the chest area. Yeah, she's a really cool looking figure. Very happy to have her. And yeah, she was awesome in the movie. So that's it for that. Everybody, thank you for joining me for episode 2 of Saturday Mornings, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more toy reveals this weekend, today and tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool pictures floating around, and I'll be posting stuff on my Instagram that I get from people or whatever, and I might do a video talking about my favorite Toy Fair reveals, but we'll see. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and thank you very much. Peace.